All right, guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over the cryptocurrency market. And as you guys can see, once again, the indices, the NASDAQ, S&P 500 over there, they're over there having a bloodbath once again, guys. So I'm actually expecting this NASDAQ composite at 1.618, 11,448 more or less, and probably have a bounce right there. So it's got probably a little bit more to go. The good news is that over here, Bitcoin just wants to keep holding on to these lows. So over here in this area, you want to keep the downside risk in the back of your mind, guys. Protect yourself from that. These are the other areas right here on the 4-hour chart that it's looking like here at that 19,005, and then these pivots at 19,264. And down here at 18.9. So those are the next two. But the good news is that Bitcoin, while they're over here having this mess going on, the weak hands are over in the traditional financial market. It looks like that, Bitcoin is not doing too bad. This is a big ball of mess. What's going on in here? Who knows? You can go over this and count this back and forth and have debates about that, whether it's bearish, bullish. More than likely, it's probably, I would guess, probably just looking at it, looks bearish to me. But so what I was going to do is some people had asked me about that. Oh, I want to go over the DXY. DXY has hit that 110.5 already of the peak. And just to let you guys know that this is in a bearish sequence. You can see right here. Here is the topping pattern for it on the 4-hour. Here is the topping pattern for it on the 8-hour. Go out to the 12-hour. You still have that topping pattern on the DXY. Check the daily. Here is it's from that third wave to that peak. The bearish divergence for the DXY, guys. And you come all the way back out to the weekly for this fifth wave moonshot that it did, and that's more than likely what it is. Here's his fifth of the third. So from that peak over to this peak, you can see you have your weekly bearish divergence. So 110.5, it could have spiked to 112 or 113. It could, but you can still see here on the weekly, you still have that bearish divergence. So this is going to be turning around sometime soon, and then at some point, maybe these guys right here are the canary in the coal mine. It'll be done and be able to do a bounce. And then you can see what's going to be happening here with Bitcoin. Okay, but what I wanted to do, and then, the Bitcoin dominance keeps going down. I think it actually hit 38% at one point. And this actually might make 35%. This is just telling me that most people are just, it seems like the play for the next wave run for Bitcoin is the Bitcoin of the crypto market is going to be in Ethereum, the layer 1s, the layer 2s, and over in those assets, not over with Bitcoin, in my opinion, guys. So out of most of the assets I'm looking at, if you take all the main assets, like the top alts coins, let's say the top 20 or 25 list on CoinGecko, and you compare them to Bitcoin, the worst of them all is Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks the crappiest of all. So when I see crappy charts, I'm like, okay, something's telling me to stay away from this, but that's just my take on it. What I wanted to do is go over GBTC right here with it. Okay, guys. So Bitcoin Grayscale Trust mirrors more or less Bitcoin, and you can see the move that it made. And the biggest difference between GBTC is this right here has come down and pulled that liquidity. Some people look at this as a very, very bearish sequence. And there's a couple clues you can see. I looked at this and I hadn't been paying attention to it too much lately. But it's always a good idea to take a check on assets like this compared to Bitcoin so you can get more clues. There's also MicroStrategy, which is kind of like a proxy of Bitcoin. Or you can go look at, say, for example, BTC 3x short, which goes opposite of Bitcoin. So when the BT 3x short is going up, Bitcoin goes down. And you might be able to get clues on where this is going. But the big thing with this Bitcoin Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is that it came down, pulled that liquidity, and that's what everybody's assuming over here with Bitcoin. It's going to come down and get that liquidity in this area. So there's a if you're bearish on this asset, as an example, I'll show you that this would be your move up here. It's swinging back down, and then it's going to swing up more than likely. It's not going to just keep going down. It needs to really do a swing up to kind of drag this area up a little bit down the RSI to swing it back down. And then you'll have a wave of this magnitude over here, more than likely, guys. So could it have one more low? It could. It's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I try to get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of that. It just, the sequence doesn't make sense to me. And overall, there's a couple clues you can look at this coin to get an idea, not coin, but this asset, to take a look at it to see what's going on with it. And the first thing that I notice is that this wave over here, here's your third wave peak, and there's your fifth wave peak. Your bearish divergence telling you to get out of that. So this wave over here is of higher magnitude than this wave. And what's that telling me is that you see this drop right here is, since it's a bigger, it's going to have a bigger drop of 90%. And then, so this drop over here should be a little bit less magnitude, 80% from that top. And then if I go from that top up there, it is about 79, about the same, almost the same amount, 75, 76%. So this drop over here should be of less magnitude than this drop because of this wave, okay? If you're bearish, then as I said, you know, this is probably doing a bounce here and it's just going to keep swinging back down. Like a $10,000 Bitcoin for, as an example, for something like this is really going to have a bearish sequence where you would have to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be a failed fifth wave, which is extremely, extremely bearish. And this asset is onto the not very good days ahead if that's the case, guys. But the good news is that it came down, got this liquidity like they want every Bitcoin to do over here as an example. And it's all the way down here in the RSI, had taken out its previous massive dump that it did over here of 90%. And more than likely, in my opinion, this is an area you want to start checking it out as far as a long play, in my opinion, and not going short. I wouldn't be going short on this asset. It's the short season for, in my opinion, was up here, up here, up here, up here. It's done for the most part. Is there potentially more downside? There could be. So what's the deal? What is it doing, potentially doing, as far as Grayscale Bitcoin Trust here? More than likely, in my opinion, it's going to be making a diagonal type move like so, guys. So something like of this nature, and then break, just pass beyond all-time highs right up there to be an ending diagonal or a beginning diagonal, whatever you want, just beyond there. And that would make that, it could potentially make a move like that, possibly. So is this the start of something, or is it part of this sequence and finishing it off? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but just based on the RSI data, guys, you have something that is a lower sequence of this. Whether this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish it off, don't know. Or if this is all just a wave 1, 2, and then it's on to something new, don't know. I will say this, though, it's kind of unusual for this type of move, if it is making a move like this to be the start of something new. Very, very unusual. Is it possible? It is possible. Is it probable? Not probable. So more than likely it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was probably the end of the sequence, and it's going to correct that. So it'll be done here and get up just beyond all-time highs. It'll correct it, and then you have another 90% drop like you did. Boom, over here. More than likely. And just wanted to show you that these types of moves are very probable. I'll give you an example. XMR. If you take a look at XMR, it is actually in the almost the exact same sequence, if you will. Any traditional or classical technical analysis would take a look at this, and you can see one big cup. There's your handle, and then a move up to, I'd say, beyond all-time high, so like 600 maybe, or 700 for XMR. And you can see this asset, like here's his third wave peak and then up, and it has the same pattern as GBTC, guys. So very similar pattern. And there's actually some people are talking about this a little bit and saying, oh, look at the cup and handle on that. And they're right. And the same pattern that it had is that if you go to here, I have this line right here. What did XMR do? It tagged the top of wave one over here. Boom. Okay. So now GBTC over here is, if you will, a little bit more bearish, where it came deeper into this wave territory. So, you know, it's You can look at this in a bearish sense. You can look at this in a bullish sense. So more than likely, just based off the data I'm looking at, it's in an area for at least a bounce of some sorts, a bounce this way to swing back down if you want to be bearish, or it could be finding a bottom in that area just based off the data. But if we go into, let me go into this wave over here. It's actually not in a bad spot if you want to do something with it. Let me go to the 8-hour chart. These assets, 8-hour chart real quick. These assets over here with GBTC, could it come down and take out the lows over here? It could, but I'd take a go deeper into this right here. To me, this move is a 5-wave swing over here. Okay. You can see the 3rd wave peak. Let me go to see if I can find some better data. 3rd wave potentially right there. 1-hour chart, what does it look like? Potentially a 3rd wave there, and it swung down for a 4th wave in this area. And to me, it looks like a 3, 3, and then a 5. And it's coming down just to test these lows right there. So this actually wouldn't be a bad little deal. You could either sit on your hands, which might not be a bad idea, and see how close it comes to that low of $11.93. But with this right here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and more than likely some type of 5 that is completing over here. So you can see your waves, your 1, 2, and then your 3 was probably here or there, swung back up for a 4, and it's over here maybe completing a 5. But your line in the sand for something like this is right there at that low at $11.93. And like I said, it's in a really good area for potentially making a move. So of course it's going to depend on what, let's go over here, back over here, what Bitcoin is going to be doing, right? So you want to pay attention to Bitcoin, where the other market's doing, you know, over here, is it dumping? Still think that's going to tag that 1.618, and then you're going to have a bounce potentially with that asset, and then see what Bitcoin's going to do, and then see, go back over here to Bitcoin Grayscale Trust, guys, and see if it holds on to this $11.93 lows. That's what I would be looking at if I was getting involved in something like this. But the overall picture, you know, a lot of people would be concerned with this asset, and you have reasons to be. You have reasons to be because of how deep it came for this wave. However, it is making a nice looking diagonal that's not out of the realm of possibilities. And here is potentially a really good example of that right here with XMR. Once again, most people are going to notice this cup handle, boom. Okay. And I know they're going to come up with crazy numbers over here for XMR, guys, you know, like, oh, it's going to go up to 2,500 or 10,000. No, more than likely, it's just since it did a diagonal right here. So the wave 4 on top of the wave 1, and it's up here, it's going to go just beyond those numbers, 500, so 600 or 700, and it'll be done. All it has to do to make that diagonal is just barely break that previous high. And a lot of them do. They go right beyond the high, and then it's done. And then it goes on to its correction. So GBTC, maybe it's going to do a stronger wave 5. Maybe it's going to do a stronger wave 5 over here, and just, you know, or just go beyond all-time highs of, what was it? Let's see, 58, and it might hit like 60 or something and be done. So from what I understand, if this and this kind of makes sense too. So from what I understand is, like, it's trading right now at $12. And if there's a video I watched, Invest Answers said if it goes for Bitcoin to go up to $57,000, this needs to be $36 up here. So if it's up at 60, that would maybe make sense of Bitcoin going to those areas that I was talking about, like 70 or 75,000 potentially. Okay, that would kind of make sense with the numbers that he was getting with the Bitcoin Grayscale Trust that watches video that he had. I don't know exactly how he came up with those numbers or calculated that, but everything, in my opinion, with it, it's in an area to start checking it out, particularly if it hangs on to those $11.93 low. So that's actually good for Bitcoin, since this is more or less a proxy of Bitcoin. Okay. and then just checking out, see what Bitcoin's going to do. It keeps testing these areas right here, keeps testing those lows. So I don't see it. I don't see it as in a spot of being really, really concerned with it unless it breaks 1193. And then even if it breaks 1193, it could swing back beyond there and come down a little bit more in the RSI, and you might have your bullish divergence from that point. But then again, I don't see a 5-wave move out of that. Doesn't make sense. This is a 3-wave move. And if you take a look at this, come out here, I'll show you guys. You can see this move, you know, potentially could have come down and make your bullish divergence over here. It could, but then you have this whole swing like this. And you can see from this peak, from here to here, there's no divergence. So one thing I'll let you guys know on the, when you have three, I'm going to go over this again, let you guys know. One thing you want to look for, when you have 3-wave swings like so that are coming down, just like so, an ABC or a WXY, from that point or the 3rd wave to this 3rd wave that's in here, you do not want to see divergence on a 3-wave swing. So everybody looks for divergence, divergence, divergence. Only 5-wave swings should have divergence. Only 5-wave swings should have divergence. From the 3rd wave to the 5th wave, from this wave to this wave, you should not have divergence. If you have divergence from the A wave to the C wave, that's a signal that I look for to tell you that you got divergence. It's going to swing back up and take it out again. Does it work all the time? No, it doesn't, but it is a good signal. Solana is one of them. I have a concern with Solana because Solana did it. I looked at it. Solana did a 3-wave swing. It has divergence. I'm like, uh-oh, pay attention, be careful. All right, guys, that's the end of my video on Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. Just pay attention to it. If I was going to be going into it, I would just see if it's going to break that $11.93 low. If it does, you got your answers. But it is in a very, very good area to potentially, in my opinion, not financial advice, do a long trade. Okay, I would just wait personally, see if it's going to break that low, and you just never know. It might come down, test it, it lined 1195, and then start going back up. All right, guys, that's the end of my video. If you made all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.